It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity, and we are here in Del Mar Highlands today to do a special cleanup on an installation that went in. We decided 3-4 years ago. This is a property that's regularly maintained by our team, but even regular maintenance sometimes, there's not enough time. So we come in with a crew and just tear in. So just to give you a sense of what's going on here, the sidewalk planting that's crassulas and aloes, grenadiensis, there are options. You can dig the whole mess out and cut and reset, depending on your aesthetic, your goals, what you want. We don't mind the idea of these plants continuing to get taller. They were just getting way too big. I mean, look at what Hannah took off of this, and there's still all of this. So the way we do this is we, for lack of a better term, bonsai. It's, by no stretch of the imagination am I a bonsai artist, but it's that vibe where we'll go inside and take branches to kind of open plants up, air them out a little bit, and celebrate their natural shape. So the idea is that these crassulas will get thicker in branch and trunk, but remain a little bit more contained.
So here's a fresh cut.
Yeah, here's a fresh cut right here.
How they harden off. There. And then grow little babies.
Yeah, and then, the cut hardens off real quick, and then we get a little bit of new growth right above or below the cut. So that's one way of doing this. It's not the way we do it every time. It really just depends, but you can do that is what I want you to see. It's really, really up to you. This front yard has stayed fairly well, we haven't really, doesn't require a whole lot because you can see it's a very, very small footprint. So we just have a few key plants. So we're going to do things like, pull weeds, limb up the Dazzlerian longissimum. We will be also making this aloe smaller by either pulling off pups from around the middle or digging the whole thing out and setting a couple of big pieces back in. Again, that's up to you. So that's that. Look at all the babies on the barrel. How cute is that? This mama going off. Look at her. That is adorable. Here's an example of Portulacaria on a slope. I'm always talking with you about that. It's a great idea if you have a slope and you're looking for a low ground coverage. Check that out, and this stays trimmed. Our team on their monthly visits keeps this contained. But if you had a large slope, you could let this ride, and within no time at all, this one plant would cover probably 6 feet. So, option. Also, there's the green version called Minima, if you prefer that. We have some Minima we can show you in the back. Let's see, this sago came with the property. It's gotten really, really big, and we keep the pups off. Down at the bottom, it tries to grow more plants, and we just like it as a single. So we'll get in there and just snip off any babies that we see as they pop up. This Ficus repens up here, the creeping fig, which I didn't plant, also came with the house, had literally climbed all the way up to the top of the roof. And our homeowner took care of it. Oh my God, thank you. He got this down for me, which was so helpful. I can't even tell you. We will need to make decisions too about the sago. I'm kind of leaning toward maybe taking off this row of leaves because it really is covering up a lot of our succulents. And these leaves also, look, they're starting to age and they're starting to turn brown, and the new growth is so beautiful. So yes, we will trim up this sago. All right, in this courtyard area, here's this situation like on curbside before anyone's gotten to it. So I showed you what Hannah had accomplished down there. We haven't been in here yet. So see how these plants can start to kind of take over and get a little out of control. You can literally just trim them back like you would any traditional plant if you want, if you don't mind looking at some cuts. And if you're interested in supporting big trunk and branch growth. But if you want this to look more like it did when you planted it, the idea is to take off great big pieces, set them aside, dig the whole root ball out, and then reset the pretty pieces back in the ground. That's option 2. And yes, now on this one, that's what we're going to do. This Crassula ovata is a phenomenal plant to work with as a cutting, and you can pretty much work with it anywhere. The undulatas are a little bit more persnickety. You see, they don't hold as much water in their leaves, so they can look a little more stressed as a cutting, particularly in the summertime. But they do come out of it. So, you know, these are jades, and you can do that. We're going to tighten up this creeping fig. Obviously, we're going to cut back, you know, all of this. Our little Euphorbia lambii is looking great in the pot. Over here, I feel like we can just do a little bit of trimming. I don't think we need to cut and reset here. Okay, as we work our way back, you know, decisions need to be made on this ovata as well. Are we going to cut it all off and reset it, or are we just going to trim it? And, you know, we'll see when we get there. Same with this, you know, hanging off onto the sidewalk. This, I don't know what the heck, but this is going to come out, and we'll likely take some of our cuttings of other things and pop them in here and make a little cutting garden. You know, we need some height, so we'll get some of the big hunks of jade or maybe some of the aloe or whatever and do something new there. These are the cotyledon mint truffle, and I don't know, I mean, I'm not real happy with that, how that aged at all here. So these, however, that being said, I think what I'll do is just cut these back really, really hard.
Well, that's what this was here, Mom.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. We'll cut this back really, really hard. Because we have the jade, you know, filling in the area so nicely, rather than remove the whole thing, by just hacking it back in the hopes that it will throw off new fat growth. That's what we're going to hope for there. You know, as always, the barrel colony, the little barrel cactus look spectacular, don't they? Not a drop of water, nothing, no fertilizer, nothing. They just look fantastic. Couple of weeds in there to get after. These cute little hangings on the fence line get hand watered. And then here we are in the back, and it's, you know, you can see we've really started to tear in here. I had Omar and Miguel straighten up the Draco that was listing a little bit. And we have Lily. Say hi, Lily. Lily's brand new, so everybody say hi to Lily. I've got her working on this creeping fig. Look what a beautiful job she's done already tightening this up. See how run-amucky it is over there where she's working, and how nice this looks here. So beautiful job, Lily. I'm going to be tackling the bougainvillea and airing that out. It's way too run-amucky as well. And yeah, you know, just like right now, Omar and Miguel are limbing up plants. We've got this Yucca rostrata that we're, you know, limbing the skirt up on that. It bloomed this spring, and now it's getting ready to throw off some branches. So we're super excited about that. And the Dazzlerian longissimum, we just want to, you know, bring some of the branches up on that so it just looks a little more contained. You can see here in the tapestry areas that it's just, you know, it's a little tired, a little dry. So we'll be taking these crassula out. They just feel a little out of proportion now. and probably putting some cuttings back in. So we'll get that lowered, give everything a really, really, really great deep drink of water. Over here, the Petalanthus bracteatus are doing exactly what I wanted them to do. They look fantastic. I feel like this one probably could do with being brought to heel a little bit. So
that whole thing could get dug out. It looks like there's like two clumps.
yeah, Hannah suggested digging all of this out, and there looks like there's two big clumps, and maybe just putting one clump back in. And perhaps we could put one clump against the wall over there. Here's a challenge spot. We had the bougainvillea running all the way along the wall, but for whatever reason, in this quadrant right here, it just wouldn't thrive. It just pouted. And trust me, we did everything. We checked the irrigation, we did monitoring, and it just wasn't happy. So we decided we have this wire here. So this bougainvillea, we can start working on training it across. We don't necessarily need any here. And I'll just fill this area in with more succulent material and perhaps some Petalanthus bracteatus. Over here, this has all been kind of a challenging area as well, but our regular maintenance crew has been hand watering it when they come to do the regular maintenance every month, and it really has started to bounce out of it. It looks like we've got a little volunteer vine making a comeback right here, so we'll have to decide. I think we'll probably cut that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll think about that a little bit. But yeah, so that's what we're up against, guys. We brought more top dressing. This is chamois beige. We brought more chamois beige. We brought more black 3/4. And when we're done tightening up all of these presentations and pulling weeds and top dressing with fresh rock, it is going to look so beautiful. All right, so another seasonal maintenance is in the books in Del Mar Highlands. This took myself and Hannah and Miguel and Omar and Lily about 5 hours to knock out, and time well spent. Hannah really tore into this area here in the parking strip. What a phenomenal solution, isn't it, for a parking strip? We have our little flagstone pathway here for point of egress. We don't have any boulders against the curb, where a truck or a car could hit them with their door. And we really thinned this out, or Hannah really thinned this out a lot. And so what we have is just these beautiful, interesting groupings of green, totally easy. This front yard is so carefree. I mean, yeah. It didn't take much. We did do a little work on these aloe vera. They weren't growing symmetrically, so we kind of fixed that. There was nothing to do with the barrel, nothing to do with the portulacaria. Really.
Well, I did trim the portulacaria.
Hannah did trim the portulacaria, but the little gayei is stealing the show. Hannah trimmed up the grenadiensis. These aloe apaches are doing so well in this garden. Limbed up the sago palm. This looks so nice. I did a little cleanup here around with the creeping fig, and we have a little lambii volunteer. I don't know how that happened. We have a lambii in a pot on the other side, but I just left it because lambii. Hannah did such a cool thing here. This thing was gigantic, and it was hanging out onto the patio. And I said, "Where's the cut, Hannah? Where did you, how did you do that?"
There's another one.
She cut it way down low.
And right here.
And right there. See that? And then she just covered it with rock. So stinking smart. So you may wonder, well, will new plant material come up from that root? Yeah. And will we allow it? Depends. If it's cute, we will. Out here, basically, you know, again, just the thinning out, the cleaning up. We watered the pots, all of the pots, and that was really all that was required in here. These little cute little planters, I watered really deeply, and then Hannah came back and did it again. So, you know, hopefully these will bounce out of it. This is literally just stress, and with a, you know, the little irrigation that we gave them, they are just going to plump up in no time at all. Look at how good this looks back here. Remember how gross this was? Hannah took some ovada cuttings and took out the junk that was in there and popped in the cuttings, and now we have, again, just this really green, attractive, easy peasy little cutouts. This is kind of a nothing burger side of the yard. They don't spend any time out here. The little pots on the fence are to enjoy from the house when they look out a window. But just again, jades are such a great solution for tight spaces, and of course those barrels are just little 3 little soldiers. So cute. Then, you know, Lily, our new girl, who did great and we're very happy with, did a beautiful job of trimming up the creeping fig. Again, this belongs to the neighbor, so you know, we just trimmed away. This is its growing season, and I like the green on the fence. It's not a problem for me. I went ahead and laced out the bougainvillea. That was really satisfying and fun, and you know, it's looking a lot more contained. Eventually what I want is to pretty much just have the greenery up on the top quadrant across the wall and have the plants underneath kind of meet it. So that's how I handled that when I trimmed, is I just basically took out suckers and branches that were pointing the wrong direction and trimmed up a little bit from the bottom. Yes, the Baccarnia, we popped this little euphorbia in the orange pot here because the Baccarnia was getting just a little too big. And our client didn't love the Kalanchoe bayarensis that was here, so Omar adopted it, and we popped the Baccarnia there instead. Perfect solution. This tricolor, jade tricolor, is so cool, isn't it? This isn't readily available. You can get it sometimes at Oasis, but it's kind of a cross between the Argentea Sunset, you know, and I think just the regular jade. Some of it's, you know, bright yellow, some of it's variegated. Just a really, really pretty plant. The Pachypodium lemerii is stunning, as is the P. losoceros azuris. We were able to straighten up the Draco a bit.
We took a lot of pieces off.
Yeah, it took a lot of pieces off of these jades and tightened them all up. Removed a couple of the Portulacaria out of there. It looks like a shiny new penny. I love doing these seasonal maintenances when the plants have a chance to get their legs. It's just so much better than even the initial installation. This stand of Petalanthus bracteatus was a little too big, so our homeowner actually rolled up his sleeves and helped out, and he dug this out, divided it, reset this one, and then we put the other piece over here against the wall. This is probably my favorite thing that we did today. We had those ugly, struggling bougainvillea. We took them out. We popped in some jade cuttings, a couple of aeoniums that I brought from Waterwise Botanicals, the new Petalanthus bracteatus right there for height, and I was able to string this part of the bougainvillea. I mean, I pulled in another 3 feet here. We've got a wire that strings all the way across, and bougainvillea is a vine, so our maintenance crew will just continue to encourage this to go across that way, and we are golden. So yeah, I'm just so happy with this maintenance. I'm always happy with maintenances. We also top dressed. We brought a dozen bags of chamois beige and a few bags of black 3/4 and just fluffed up the rock where needed. So this client is on a regular monthly maintenance, but they won't need us to come back for a couple of months to pick up with the regular maintenance. Oh, also, did we talk about this? in the first part of the day? I don't know that we did. This Mission to Mars Mangave was back there behind the Dazzlerian longissimum, and we moved it to the front where it could really be seen, enjoyed, and appreciated. So Omar did a beautiful job of kind of tightening this area all back up. He moved the superbum. He replanted the little millii. We tightened up the Aeonium sunburst, and this just got completely fluffed and buffed. So, anything else?
I was just gonna say, I really like that we were able to keep a lot of mature, like it still looks like a mature garden.
Yeah, Hannah says she's just really happy that, you know, we were able to keep so much, and it just looks like a very, very mature garden. Look at that trigona.
Yeah.
Walked right by that. That's a happy plant. And the Synodendrium grantii in the back. So pretty. So yeah, we've got a lot of really great things going on here, and we will catch you guys next. We're going to be in Santee on a phase 3. So until then, thank you for watching. Please like the video, share with all your gardening friends, and subscribe if you haven't. This has been Laura Eubanks in Del Mar Highlands with a seasonal maintenance on a 2.5-year garden. Bye guys.